of all the stuff I've shared with people, I still think that's probably the most interesting thing that I've ever shared. It's just that if you are really goofy and playful and move your body. And again, I talked about this in The Joy of Not Thinking. And I have a whole video series called Stop Being Serious from a long time ago, from over 10 years ago, where it's just like literally me jumping up and down and doing all these ridiculous things and then talking about it some. If you do that, you're going to feel good. Pretty much guaranteed. You can feel like crap. And if you jump around like a monkey and are blasting your favorite music and just do that with 100% effort, you're going to realize that you are not you. And what you actually are is is good. And that's going to make you feel very happy, you know? And that's like, that's a hack and a secret that's so obvious, like children intuitively kind of know it. I would say it's so obvious and it makes basically every adult in our culture uncomfortable, totally uncomfortable. I've spoken about this stuff for years, and most people I speak to, you know, Alex is an exception. Like most people I speak to about it, they don't even want to go near it. You know, I've got individual clients who are like, you know, I was trying to do the playful thing where I, you know, bang my chest like a monkey and I couldn't do it. And you have to ask, like, why not? You know, you're alone in a room. Why can't you bang your chest like a monkey? Why can't you make some funny noises? Why can't you talk like this to yourself for a minute or 2 or 3 minutes? Why can't you do it? Why can't you do it? Because if you do it, you're going to break those boundaries and you're not who you think you are. You're something else. It's very interesting how we are not comfortable being playful. Kids are, but adults usually not so much.
Awesome. Okay, why don't you pick the next one?
Sure. Oh, the whole vibing thing. I put that there, like connecting that. So we haven't really talked about that yet. Do you have anything
Put
you
it
want
put
to?
it in a question. Put it in a question.
I
Questions are
will.
magic.
Yeah. Okay. What happens when I vibe out? So when I say vibe out, that again circles back to just, well, what if I'm just okay being here right now? And I just relax my body to the best of my abilities and let my mind race like a motherfucker and think whatever it's going to think. And if my body, even though I'm relaxing, physically is in pain, I just let it be physically in pain. I just relax into it as best I can. What's going to happen if I do that for 5 or 10 minutes?
I remember the first time I interviewed you, and I always remember this line. And it's like one of those, it's like your silliness thing that I'm almost embarrassed. I did all those silliness exercises. They're awesome, by the way. But you said, you know, I always wanted to be a bum.
Yeah,
That was Tim Grimes. And it's like, fuck, dude.
I
You
still do.
admit that? You admit that? Like we all just wanted to be a bum when we were kids. We thought that was the coolest thing in the world, just to have nothing to do, just to vibe out, you know? And then we got indoctrinated with all the rest of the stuff, some of which is good. But I associate that when I hear you say, you know, vibe out. What if it's okay? Just, you know, what happens if I just vibe out? Do you want to, does that connect?
Of course. I mean, that's like, again, this is all in the joy of not thinking, but like, that's the thing. I mean, if I'm being honest with myself, I always relate it to people who are basically bums, you know? And then like, you know, when I got into spirituality relatively young. Like, you know, you'd read about those Indian and Japanese Zen mystics, you know, and they're just living by the side of the river, you know, or they're playing a bamboo flute, or they're not doing anything. That's what I can relate to this day, you know? And I have a lot of responsibilities these days, most of which I enjoy. You know, I enjoy my children, you know, I enjoy the work that I do, but I can't relate to that go mentality, because that go mentality connotates overthinking for me. And for some people, perhaps it doesn't, but I think that people are so very serious about living their life and being this certain kind of person. And in my opinion, you know, the great Kodo Sawaki, you know, one of my Zen masters I really looked up to, he was a 20th century Zen master. He said, enlightenment is like a thief breaking into an empty house. There's nothing to steal and there's no one to catch him. And I really, that line summates how I look at life really. And that means like I have a bum sensibility. I'm not afraid to admit that, in the same way, they called Kodo Sawaki homeless Kodo Sawaki because he had like a traveling temple. He had no home. And he goes, what's wrong with being homeless? We're all homeless anyway, in reality, so.
Love it.